Alright guys, today I'm going to show you how to make South Carolina hash. If you're not from South Carolina, chances are you have no clue what this really is. Us down here in the South, we like to call it meat gravy. But I'm going to show you how we make hash in the upstate of South Carolina. There's 5 different hash regions in South Carolina, but today we're going to cover what we call a high onion content hash. And this is a recipes that usually passed down generation to generation through families. There's not a lot of information out there on how to make it. It's just passed down word of mouth. So today I'm going to film this video and show you guys how we do it. Alright, for my family's recipe, we like to use a combination of beef and pork. Sometimes a lot of the hash you get around here is going to be an all beef hash, but you use a very lean cut of beef, and I feel like you need just a little bit more fat to give a little more flavor. So we usually do a 70-75% beef mixture to a 25-30% pork mixture. So today I've got roughly 20 pounds of stew meat and about 7-8 pounds of Boston butt, all cubed up into chunks. If you can get stew meat, just makes things a lot easier. If not, use some bottom round, some other lean, cheaper cut of meat. Just cube it up in cubes, and then I'm about to show you our cast iron cooker that we're going to put it in, and we're going to boil this meat in some hot water till it gets nice and tender. And then we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. There's going to be a lot of onion, there's going to be salt, pepper, chili flakes, and at the end you always finish it off with real butter. Don't mess with the margarine, you got to use the real stuff. Real butter only. This is our cubed up meat, and we're going to add it to our cast iron cooker here. This is a 10-gallon cast iron jambalaya cooker by King Cooker, and got a gas burner underneath that. So I've got some water in there, got it nice and boiling. I'm going to add this stew meat and Boston butt to the water, let it cook for a while till it gets nice and tender, and then we'll come back and show you next steps. Alright, so far we've got our stew meat and our pork cooking in our pot for about an hour now, which is very early in on the cooking process for this. But I'm going to take the lid off and just kind of show you what we're looking like so far. We've got the water boiling pretty good. I'm going to take my paddle and stir this meat around just a little bit. Keep that meat moving. Like I said, you don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pot. But I'll be stirring this by myself for most of the night. Maybe I'll have some friends or family come over to help take shifts throughout the evening. But we'll keep stirring this along till it starts to fall apart. As it starts falling apart, you're also going to see some of the fat and other pieces on the meat that you really don't want in the dish. They'll start falling off and they'll kind of float to the top. So what we do is, as we're stirring this, we just kind of pick those out and toss them to the side, and we'll keep it going until it's ready. So we'll check back in maybe 3-4 hours and show you where we're at. Alright, we've been cooking for about, I don't know, 3 hours now. Everything's still boiling. You can see that some of the meat is starting to break apart. Still got a long ways to go, but at this point we're going to add our onions and seasonings. A lot of onions. I know this looks like a ton of onions, but trust me, they all cook down and adds great flavor. We'll add our seasonings as well. Just salt, black pepper, red pepper flakes. Give this a stir, cover it back up, and check back again in a couple hours. Alright, our hash has been cooking for about 7 hours now, and you can see it's really starting to thicken up some. We still have a ways to go, but that meat's really starting to break down as it cooks. The water that we had in there to begin with is evaporating off, and this is getting thicker and thicker. And now that it's getting this thick, it's even more crucial that you stir frequently now than what it was before, because as this thickens and that meat just kind of grabs together and it sinks to the bottom, it's going to sit on the bottom of this cast iron pot. And you know, for my cooker, I've got a gas burner underneath. Some have an open fire underneath, and if you don't keep that stirred, that meat's going to settle on the bottom. It's going to burn and scorch on the bottom. So it's very important that you keep stirring. And as you stir, you want to look for pieces like this right here. This is a little piece of fat or another tendon or ligament such as that has came off of the meat while it was breaking down, and those are the pieces you want to pull out. You want to get all those out. Easiest thing is to keep you a set of tongs handy, long handle tongs, and just as you stir, those pieces will float to the top. You just grab them, toss them out, and keep going. So we're going to keep stirring the hash. At this point, you know, I'm stirring very frequently because, like I said, you don't want this stuff to scorch on the bottom. We still probably have a couple of more hours before we get to the consistency that we're looking for. And once we get to that consistency, you know, to finish it off, we're going to add that real butter at the end, and that's really going to kick off the final flavor of this. But we'll come back in a couple of hours and see where we're at. Okay, our hash has been cooking for about 10 hours now, and it's very, very close to being finished. So since it's still a good consistency that I'm looking for, and I'll let you get a closer look. That's kind of the consistency that we're looking for. Now that I'm at this consistency, it's time to add the butter. So we're going to toss in some butter here. And this is really going to set it off and bring all the flavors together that we have going on here. Very basic flavors, but they come together very well. So we're going to stir this in. I'm going to let it cook for another 20-30 minutes and check it again, and we should be ready to take it off the heat and let it start cooling down so we can start packaging. So after adding the butter, I stirred the hash for another 30, maybe 45 minutes, and now the hash is down to the consistency that we're looking for. So you can see here this little group of hash. You can see the pepper flakes and seeds from the red pepper flakes. You can see a little bit of onion there. It's mostly cooked down. And just take a look at the consistency. This is the consistency we're looking for. I know it doesn't appear to be the most appealing thing to eat from looking at it, but I guarantee you it tastes great. So I hope you can try this out. I'm going to post a recipe, a smaller batch recipe, down in the description of the video, so you can try out some smaller batches at home. Make some white rice, serve it over rice, or just get some hamburger buns and put it on a bun and eat it like a sandwich. Hope you guys enjoy it. Love to hear your feedback.